My wife passed away with lung cancer 2.5 years ago. So after 12 years, in 2001, I decided I need to do something that I think is profitable for the young people, the students, because my grandson will be coming here to university this year. And I would like to do something to put back what they've given me all the years, the 31 years, towards the commitment to the Montague County. My qualifications: being a magistrate, I understand what people need and how people need it, because there's scales. When you're a judge, you have a scale, and you balance their scales, and that's how I'll do with the bills. If the bills, I think, are not right for the working class people and the seniors and the students, I'll think about doing whatever I have to do.
Thank you. Since this meeting was called by the Student Government Association, I'd like to talk primarily to the students tonight, but the faculty and other people can stay. First, you want to know why I'm running for office, and the reason is fairly straightforward. I'm a scientist. I'm a professor emeritus, taught here at WVU for 35 years, and I've spent the last 10 years largely studying the scientific literature about global warming, overpopulation, and mass extinction. And I can tell you that these are serious problems.
A political friend of mine one time gave me advice. He said, when you're speaking to a group, you should stand up so you can be seen, speak up so you can be heard, and sit down quick so you can be liked. And I'm going to try to abide by that. My name is Steve Cook. I'm running for the House of Delegates, 44th Delegate District. I'm married. I have 3 children, all attended the public school system here in Mon County. My 3 children all attended WVU. 2 of them graduated. I have grandchildren. I have a granddaughter who is currently in the civil engineering department. In terms of work experience, I spent 16 years working for the West Virginia Laborers District Council as the assistant business manager. I worked with local unions, organizing, presenting arbitration cases, processing grievances, negotiating collective bargaining agreements, etc. In terms of public service, I served as then Governor Rockefeller's Labor Commissioner from 1977 to 1979. I served in the House of Delegates from 1980 to 1982. I served in the State Senate from 1982 to 1986. I tell my friends that I left the State Senate due to illness, Bob. The voters became sick of me. I came back, ran for the House of Delegates in 1988 and served for 6 more years. Illness struck again, Tony. I left again in 1994. I just enjoyed public service. I ran for the Board of Education in 1998, served 10 years in the Mon County Board of Education, and enjoyed that experience very much. Why am I running? Well, I'm passionate about public service. I enjoy public service. But I have to be honest with you. The primary reason I'm running is because, in politics, timing is everything. And if there were not 2 vacancies in the House of Delegates, 4-delegate district, I would not have run, because I frankly thought that the incumbent delegates were doing a great job and would have supported them and would not have been in this race. So that's one reason that I'm running.
I think that you should vote for me in particular for a couple reasons. I think I have been an effective legislator. I sponsored the Equal Pay for Equal Work for State Employees Act, which passed in 1998, and that has resulted in over $5 million going into the pockets of people who work in female-dominated professions, both men and women. I also have sponsored domestic violence reform legislation, which I'm really proud of, and we continue to work on that issue and try to make West Virginia a safer place. I see my talents as being a problem solver, and my talents also as being a listener. And I think that that's very important for anyone who's a legislator, to be a really good listener. If you come to us with a personal problem, or you come to us with a broader problem that affects a lot of people, we, I think, have a duty to respond. And it's not like you can just slap out a piece of legislation. You have to study it. Like, for example, the Marcellus Shale, or the fish kill in Doddridge County.
I became a member of the House of the City Council, and then went on to be the mayor. And I was the mayor of Morgantown for 7 years. and it was a most fulfilling thing for me to do. I really did appreciate the support that I had from Dalton County. And when we speak of should you be involved, should you get out and vote, should you be involved in this, I would certainly say yes, and I would certainly encourage you to do that.
Not long ago, I was sitting right where you are. I'm not too far, and I would like to consider myself a lot closer to your age than in reality I really am. You know, some of the biggest issues that we're facing, that are facing our nation today directly affect college-age students. Examples: the war in Iraq, our national debt, education and employment. Those are just some of the hot-button issues that we're facing.
I'm a constitutionalist, which is a word you don't hear tossed around too much in politics these days. I believe that when our founders wrote down 16 enumerated powers for Congress, they did so for a reason. I believe in limited government. And my campaign can be boiled down to the three things we most need to protect in West Virginia, and that's life, liberty, and property, all three of which are under assault from the highest levels of Washington to Charleston to your county commission. I'm a libertarian Republican. That means I'm socially liberal but fiscally conservative. I believe the Bill of Rights applies to all individuals.
Now here's the problem. When I graduated WVU, aerospace engineering, guess what? I couldn't find a job in West Virginia. What I had to do was, I moved my new family from West Virginia, a state I love and grew up in, and moved to Florida. Now in Florida, I worked for several years for Lockheed Martin in the space shuttle. Great job, but I wanted to come back to West Virginia. That's where my home is, where my heart is. Well, about 5.5 years later, I finally got a job back here. I found a job. But guess what? A lot of people don't. If you look around this room here, almost everybody, about 50% of us, or 6% of us here, will not be here when we graduate. We're to go out of state as a brain hemorrhage. You are leaving this state to go find another job. It's a drain on our economy in our state. That's not right. And I know all of you here from West Virginia, but the ones who are from West Virginia, if you want to stay, you should stay because you want to, not because of economic necessity. You have to make those decisions, make them for you.
Let me get this set up. There we go. My name is Chris Walters. I am a candidate for the House of Delegates, and you know, like Charlene, this is a homecoming for me as well, because I still am a student at West Virginia University. I am currently waiting on 6 credit hours to transfer from a study abroad in Poland, and I'm hoping to get that worked out with the registrar's office. And all I can do is remain optimistic, because we know how our registrar's office is here. You know, as I said, I've been a student here. You know, I've walked your all steps. I've sat in the same classrooms as you all had just last semester. So I understand what you are going through. I know what it's like to run across 6 lanes of traffic between the Creative Arts Center and the Coliseum. And I also understand that there needs to be a bridge built there. But there are other issues that we can deal with in Charleston that I'd like to talk to you about. First off, one of the bills I'd like to see passed is, it deals with the emerging popularity of the e-reader, the Kindle. I'd like to make it that every professor, if they're going to use a textbook, it has to be available to be downloaded onto an e-reader. That'll save you an average cost of 20% per textbook. That's something that they've done in different areas across the United States. Actually, in Florida, there was a high school, and in that high school, they couldn't afford to pay for the books for all their students. It was a very poor area of Florida. One of the teachers had a great idea. He saw that an e-reader cost $120, whereas we all know some of our textbooks cost over $200 each. Every single student in that school got an e-reader, got a Kindle, and had all the textbooks downloaded into it at a lower cost.